Alright, there we go. Finally getting started. Sorry about that. Okay. Now we can finally start talking about this next upcoming game. Gonna be, like I said, Golden Drone versus Yogzototh and Skasi, which sadly I wasn't able to watch. I did see a bit of it before the last match before it ended completely, and what happened seemed to be that GoogleFrog and Aquanim had the advantage, and then Yogzototh pulled it back. So Skasi and Yogzototh look like they're probably in a good position to actually take games back if they're in a losing situation, but we'll see how well that works against Godde and Drone. Anyway, we're on LLTA Complex, a map which I have not seen in a long time. I think maybe Nada. I don't even know if it's the Nada tournament that used it. I don't know if it's ever been used in a tournament, come to think of it, but it is being used in this one. As you can see, fairly large map. The standard wide map that tends to set up in 0K, very often you see these wide maps, and this is one of them, for certain. It's also a DSD style map, much like this or that ice one I can't remember the name of from the last tournament. The last two tournament had a similar map. Why can't I remember its name off the top of my head? Anyway, that was a slog, as you may remember. It took an hour for that match to finish. I'm surprised I can't remember what map it was on, but it was... yeah, it was Princey and Clone. It was Cold Snap, that's what it was, which took an hour. Yeah, so this is a similar type of map. This is a DSD style, or Delta Siege Dry style map. So Delta Siege Dry being basically the first of these maps that have the northern section being quite hilly and the southern section being flat and full of resources. So there's Delta Siege Dry, there's Cold Snap, there's a few other direct ones, there's this. That's a common archetype. Not one we see a lot in 1v1, because it works poorly in 1v1, but one we see decently often in 2v2 and greater. And we are seeing it right now. Although I don't think this map would have been picked by either player if it hadn't been one of the tournament maps. So it looks like Drone and Godde are basically going to go for massive economy, while Yogzototh and Skasi are using voice chat, I think. Oh, never mind. Nope. They're actually just confused. They have no idea what to do. So it looks like Drone and Godde are going to go for massive economy into air switch, while Skasi and Yogzototh are... well, Yogzototh has light vehicles. Skasi has nothing. Not built up anything on the map so far. A little bit odd, but that's apparently the way things are going to go right now. Drone going Cloaky, so Cloaky bot and Godde hasn't picked anything yet. Cloaky bot and Godde. I don't think Golde's even selected their start location, but maybe? Top left corner? Yep. And they're going for Spider bot. So light vehicle and Spider bot versus light vehicle and Cloaky bot. Skasi going for Cloaky bot, not Drone. And that is going to be... oh, that's going to be that. Very simple. So Drone and Godde setting up pretty quickly economically. I mean, we have a few fleets for scouting, just to have an idea of what's going on here. Godde getting one in the stuck, sadly, but the rest of them are just... yeah, wow, surprisingly. Yeah, these rocks just get in the way. That's the problem. The rocks are the issue. Otherwise, no big deal. Well, reclaim coming up. We do have quite a lot of reclaim here, so these rocks... I mean, right now, very near the base. 240 metal, 240 energy between the rocks and the bushes. Drone, not quite so lucky. It's a fair amount of energy reclaim right next to their main base, but no metal reclaim. On the north side, much better for the reclaim, and that's why Godde started out in that corner. I didn't point that out earlier, but yeah, that's why Godde started in the corner, was the reclaim, while Skasi does not have that reclaim quite so readily available, not going for it either. I think that's going to be, like, I kind of mentioned before, once Godde and Drone get an advantage, it's hard to dislodge them from that position, and any advantage they get is a pretty big deal, and they're going for the advantages they can get. The fact that they have that early economic advantage, along with this harassment going unimpeded. This metal extractor, is it going to die? I think, yeah, the Scorch is not in there in time. That metal extractor goes down, taking out the flea with it, but still, that is a blow that Yogzototh and Skasi do not want to have happen. Like, they don't want any blows. Any minor disadvantage is a big deal. They don't want to lose anything. So if Godde and Drone, if they get through this, they are, like, once they get out of that early game, they're probably going to win at this rate. They're just taking small advantages here and there. Yogzototh and Skasi are starting to fall behind. They're already 6 metal behind in total. We're only 2 minutes into the game, and there's already that metal disadvantage. In part because of the lack of reclaim, and partly because, I mean, Godde did expand from the front, moving back, so, well, not necessarily safer, but Skasi is being a little bit more timid about their expansion attempts. And also a little slower, too. They were a bit more aggressive, but since they haven't gone for the air start that Drone and Godde are worried about, Drone and Godde have not much to worry about. They don't have to worry about getting their metal extractors bombed out. They don't really have to worry about getting a ground assault, because Skasi and Yogzototh probably aren't going to go for that. We do see that Skasi is actually planning on going for a bit of a ground assault with these glaives, but that's not a huge thing. It's really not all that much, all things considered. So that goes down, and along with that we have, well, another flea, another metal extractor. That also goes down. Godde with their flea micro that they are so good at, taking out yet another metal extractor. Yogzototh and Skasi now behind by about 10 metal. That's a factory's worth of metal, or a factory's build power worth of metal, at a disadvantage for Yogzototh and Skasi. Now I should point out, of course, that that would require that both Drone and Godde actually come together on constructing something, but it actually doesn't even matter at this point. They've gotten enough of an economic advantage, doesn't matter. Air switch, 3.5 minutes in, considerably faster than expected. Why is this not working the way I expected to? Oh, yeah, right, because I didn't actually use... That's not using the new version that doesn't screw up the zoom. Anyway. And so Skasi and Yogzototh are pretty well set up. Yeah, all things considered, they are in a nice... They're in a nice spot. Sorry, Godde and Drone are in a nice spot. Skasi and Yogzototh are defending decently well. They're not in that nice of a spot, not that terrible of a spot. Moving forward, actually, Yogzototh taking the south pretty aggressively. Drone and Godde are not well set up militarily, but they do have Wolverines. That's a bit of a problem. And Skasi coming in, nice glaive, very nice glaive, hitting all. Get those power plants. Those power plants right now are providing plus 1.7. That is a huge, massive blow. And at the same time, frontal assault. So we got double flank assault. The Wolverines went down quite quickly to the Scorchers, but that was a worthy sacrifice. And that glaive, getting rid of the worker when it counts, getting rid of all the metal extractors. The Swifts not quite killing it. Okay, the Swifts finish it off, but that was a massive blow nonetheless. Especially given that that happened at the same time as that frontal assault. And that frontal assault is going to be difficult to deal with. Not impossible, though. The Wolverines are definitely the right move. There just aren't very many of them compared to the slasher count. Slashers can kind of get rid of everything else with pretty much with impunity. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot that's in their way. The only downside is the Scorchers are going to start whittling away their numbers. Drone, however, has set up defensively. They still a bit of a blow, but they have enough reclaim. It's not going to be a problem. Their commander's right up front, reclaiming everything they need, and the air switch has been matched in kind by Yogzototh. A little bit later than expected, but still, they have exactly what they need, and that is going to be probably in Godde's favor. Godde does have the first mover advantage there. They do have all their units already in the air. They have air control. It's going to be a bit tricky. Yogzototh's going to have to build a lot of Hawks and Swifts quite quickly in order to get the air control back. And they're focusing... Okay, they're focusing a bit of economy on there. They are getting Hawks, but they're not focusing most of their economy on there, so air control is not going to be their priority. And they're not going to get it as a result. I mean, if you notice, Godde is focusing entirely on airpad, not focusing on the Spider Factory at all. The ground force is entirely Drone's doing. Drone's taking care of all of that, and Godde coming in for a calm kill. Skasi losing their commander, or possibly going to lose their commander. We'll see. Skasi's commander is... Oh, not quite down yet. Oh, is it? Is it? Oh, yeah, it probably is. And down it goes. That's Skasi's commander down. Big blow. Like I said, every advantage that Godde and Drone can take is a major thing. At this point, though, Skasi and Yogzototh do have a nice contain. They don't have the north, though. That's a problem. But they have the south. They have a decent contain. The only problem being the Wolverine mines, which are actually quite the problem. If they can get rid of that, then that's good. Godde coming in once again with another flea, taking out another metal extractor, and just the right distance. They can continue to take it out, not die in the process. Finished off, but once again, another metal extractor that didn't need to die. But Yogzototh and Skasi trying to make sure that at least those... trying to get the Ravens killed first, but the Ravens are just... there's too many of them, not enough slashes, not enough anti-air, and now the eastern side has been taken back by Drone and Godde. Nice shots, though, getting rid of a couple of the Ravens, possibly losing some Swifts in the process, but got rid of 2 Ravens. That was a good blow. Got rid of a... oh no, lost a Hawk. That was Godde lost a Hawk. Yogzototh didn't. Yogzototh got rid of the Hawk. So Yogzototh is actually taking air control back. Pretty aggressively. While at the same time, Skasi coming in with the Glaives. Got rid of one of the Ravens. Not really worried about the rest. So many Glaives, not so many Ravens. And enough firepower. I mean, the Ravens aren't going to go down too much, but these Glaives can basically push in. Well, okay, not that hard. Too hard. Too hard, Skasi. Move back. Move back. No, it's a bit too hard. That is going to be a problem. They sacrificed 6 Glaives for 1 worker and 1 Lotus. Not the best choice, unfortunately. Center of the map, however, we do see that Yogzototh having to push back against Drone. Godde with entirely air-focused build, and they aren't really going for anything else. They are not focused on any ground units at all. Entirely focused on the air, entirely focused on these Ravens. Yogzototh forces coming in to punish them for that, getting rid of another... well, try and get rid of another set of Ravens. Not a whole lot of Swifts on the field, though. Only about 5 of them. So Yogzototh right now is not doing well. Yogzototh losing all of their Swifts. They've continued to focus on ground, however. They've been focusing on ground and air pretty evenly. The problem being, of course, they do not have the economic advantage to actually pull that off. Godde and Drone still have the economic advantage. They are still taking every bit of reclaim they can. They still have enough overdrive to make it work, which is kind of surprising given how much overdrive that exists over here. And I've been neglecting to show the metal extractors, though I think in this map it's probably not the biggest deal. In fact, I think I'll just turn it off now again. So it's plus 1.8 for every single metal extractor. I don't know if it's been less clear as a result. I mean, I think it's... with 2v2, it gets kind of cluttered, especially when there's that much overdrive in the field. Like, all these overdrive circles, that's a lot of flashing colors. Let's just stick with the units for now. If people have a problem with that, if people would rather see the metal extractor values all the time and not just on maps that have uneven counts, let me know. I'm sorry, I've actually been forgetting this entire tournament to show those. I normally do. I've only been occasionally doing them. I haven't been making a point of it as I normally do. But anyway, the south side of the map, bigger deal. Yogzototh losing a bunch of Ravagers, trying to push in, tanking out the mines, which is good, forcing Drone back a bit, but Drone setting up static defenses, setting up a solid line. Not much really getting in the way there, and setting up advanced radar too. This is pretty big. The advanced radar is set up, and they do also have... they said they have the mines, they have the Wolverines, they have Scorchers. They've got pretty much everything set up at this point. Fleas and Gremlins as well. This is... and forces coming in from Drone that are managing to get through the entire south side. Drone has pretty much taken the south side at this point. Yogzototh and Skasi do not have enough to work with. They are probably going to pick a smaller map next game. I would be surprised if they went for anything big. They're probably going to go for something like intersection at the biggest, I would think. Possibly Geister Plains again. They went for that for game 2 against GoogleFrog and Aquanim, and they won. They might go for that, and we do see Skasi has gone for Jumpbot Factory. Yogzototh with the air. Missile Silo from Godde. Proxy Missile Silo at that. That's gonna be a problem. And over to the south, there's really not much Yogzototh can do. Yogzototh and Skasi, one last push along the south. Yogzototh does have a lot of Ravagers. But still, that is a massive push. This is gonna be a problem. It's gonna be really hard to deal with. And over to the north, we have, well, the Missile Silo, we have the Hermits. A couple Sharpshooters trying to get rid of these Hermits. Really, the Stingers are the bigger target for them, although admittedly that will be 2 shots, I think? Yeah, there'll be 2 shots against the Hermits. So the sharpshooter is doing a decent job, but the south side entirely belonging to Drone. The north side pretty much entirely belonging to Godde. Yogzototh and Skasi are essentially just waiting for the end. They don't seem to have a Strider hub. They don't seem to have... I mean, I don't know if they'd really be able to afford it, but they're just trying to desperately push in, trying to desperately get rid of all these Wolverine mines, trying to just break this up somehow. And they are managing to at least cut a path. Running through the minefield, though. Running entirely through the minefield and just minesweeping with their bodies. And Yogzototh gets out of the game, leaving Skasi to micro everything. And Skasi leaves, so that is game 1 for Godde and Drone. Skasi, unfortunately, Skasi and Yogzototh unfortunately got hit a few times, and that was a few too many. So we're going to move on to game 2, which I'm not sure what map that's going to be on, because that is entirely up to the losing players, up to Yogzototh and Skasi, and I don't know if they have what options they had on hand, what they were thinking. Not sure if they've changed their mind at all based on what's happened in this game. They might be rethinking what they should be going for. Anyway, we are going to be seeing that pretty soon. Pretty much as soon as we get... Well, yeah, next game should be starting in just a moment. Assuming that they actually are going to continue, I don't... Where did Yogzototh go? Okay, Yogzototh and Skasi for some reason got specced out. That's unusual. Oh, whoops. It happens sometimes, but... Are they just giving up? Like, are they done? Oh, Skasi apparently didn't have enough... Okay, so the computer power issue. That is unfortunate. Okay, so we are going to be getting to that. Maybe? Yeah, Aquanim, we got a bit of a point about the tournament. Like, Aquanim pointing out there's not a whole lot of tension, and yeah, that's kind of true, because, I mean, Godde and Drone... They basically, as soon as they get any advantage, they can just turn that into a win. So you gotta make sure that you don't let anything go to them. You gotta make sure they don't get any advantage whatsoever. If they do, especially economically, it's huge. I'm a bit surprised the Yogzototh and Skasi didn't... I guess they haven't really seen Godde and Drone play yet, so they wouldn't know that. But yeah, you pretty much do have to harass a bit. And that thing, the early harassment would have probably... An early air start. Yeah, it probably would have been a bit of a damage or anything. Although, at the same time, an early air start is kind of countered by a large amount of expansion, because there are only so many bombers. Okay, we're going to Icy Run, the smallest of small maps that actually gets played. There are smaller maps, but they don't get played. Okay, there we go. So we're moving on to Icy... The heck? Okay. Apparently Icy Run's map definition doesn't involve a clear boxes. Oh, it does. That's weird. You're gonna notice as soon as the game starts, there's gonna be like 20 start boxes. But it looks like the important start boxes are going to be filled up by the two teams. But yeah, there was another map that got picked instead, ICC. So that's why you see all these random spurious start boxes. Don't worry about them, they are not relevant. At least, I don't think. Unless Drone and Godde can't actually pick their start location. I think actually I'll be able to. Not sure. Is that a problem? No, never mind. Sorry, I mean Skasi and Yogzototh. I'm not sure if Skasi and Yogzototh can pick their start locations. Yeah, that's a bit weird though. Clearbox should have done that. Anyway. So the slasher push will be coming from the blue team. Red team, not yet choosing their strategy or setting up or anything. Not sure what they're planning on doing. Probably in voice chat, so I just can't hear it. I just don't know what they're planning on doing. So Slash Rush and Jack coming from the green blue team, and we have Skasi and Yogzototh. Okay, so they can't choose the start location. Nope, never mind. That's not start location. Where's the start location stuff? So we see a Gunship start from Yogzototh. We're gonna see a scallop drop. Like either scallop drop or a warrior drop or something like that. Because we're seeing the makings of either slash push or Wolverine push from Drone, with Godde not really picking anything yet. Okay, good. The start locations are fine. Alright, so Skasi and Yogzototh just finishing up their strategy, and Skasi going for vehicles. So we're not going to see a drop of any variety. We're just going to see gunship and light vehicle versus light vehicle and whatever Godde decides to go for. Jumpbot, okay. Early blast. Okay, so Blastwing Rush. Blastwing Rush into Brawler. A couple Blastwings into Brawler. And some darts for scouting from Skasi. Drone and Godde going for one dart for scouting, and then Slasher Push. So we're seeing the Slasher Push and some Pyros from Drone, Godde, and Skasi Yogzototh. Skasi is scouting out with darts. And the Blastwings coming in, not revealing themselves too quickly, or at least getting lucky about that. And that dart won't be able to get the scouting in. There we go, doesn't get the scouting in. That was very close. Almost scouted that Brawler Rush. And the Blastwings have set up without Drone or Godde knowing about them. So at this point, we do have a nice setup for Yogzototh and Skasi. Although, why Skasi is not pushing this factory is beyond me. I'm quite surprised they started out the way they did, that they started out separated like this. I was expecting them to go for an assist build cheese. That's usually what you see when it comes to this sort of team game thing. As the most common types of cheese is either a drop or assist build cheese, like if you're assisting on some major thing. And at this point, yeah, they might be rushing a Black Dawn, or drop, or nap, who knows? You don't! Except that the Black Dawn, or the, well, the Blastwing just exploded there, and it's clear that it is a Blastwing, so yeah, not quite sure what's going to happen, but the Blastwing does... Oh, detonates a little bit too soon. Didn't quite wait till the Slasher was on top of it. That Brawler still's got a minute left. And Skasi not helping with that. Skasi building up a bunch of Scorches instead to try to hold the line, try to get rid of the darts, try to prevent scouting from coming in. And at this point, Drone and Godde still are in the dark about what Yogzototh and Skasi are up to. That being said, Slashers are, I think, an okay counter. I'm not totally sure. Yeah, it's one of those things that... No, maybe not. Let's double check the actual range values. I think... Let's see, the range of 600 ML versus 650. The Brawler is a slight advantage, but the Slashers could move in. And the Brawler is up. The Brawler Rush has begun and is known about. Yep, Drone knows. Godde knows. The Brawler is in. and it is wrecking the place. Golde's commander right now, level 0. Not much you can really do against this. The slashers can help, so the brawler has to kite intelligently. But the north side's totally vulnerable, which Skasi's taking advantage of. Just running a dart in there, scouting out, seeing what's going on. Trying to take, I guess, maybe trying to take any stray metal extractors they can find, which there are actually quite a few. Not this one, mind you. That's one of the well-defended ones. Bit of a shame. But yeah, these two, this one over here and this one over here, those are both fairly safe. I'll point out this is entirely a +2 map, so every single metal extractor here is +2. I can probably show that without getting too cluttered, though. And that brawler needs to move back, needs to repair. I can kind of see why Skasi did keep going with the ground forces. I mean, it does mean the cheese isn't quite as all in. Like, the brawler rush isn't going to be quite as big of a threat if they lose it or gets damaged or gets pushed back. It's not even a matter of losing the brawler, just getting pushed back. The brawler's not actually being effective. But the Ravagers, well, they're tanking nicely. They're okay. The brawler's alive. And Skasi coming into the north, taking away a lot of the economy that Drone and Godde have. Nice flank. So the brawler is basically a nice distraction. I think Drone and Godde are going to throw in the towel. We're going to go on to game 3, maybe. Drone is considering a surrender. Considering brokering terms. Godde at this point, no comment. But that, okay, well, light vehicle factory, which is not going to be used too much. I mean, Skasi is the only one actually building vehicles at this point. Drone hasn't been building since the slashers were built up, and I don't think they're going to build anymore. Well, they certainly aren't going to build anymore now with the factory being destroyed. One last push coming in, apparently that is the plan. The Godde and Drone are going to go for one last push before letting it go to game 3. And the Jumpbot factory is not going to go down. It remains alive, so Godde can at least build up. Drone might start setting up. They need to set up some builders here. Unless you can assist build using your allies' economy, I'm not totally sure. Like, I'm not entirely sure exactly how the economy works when it comes to shared team stuff. I'm not sure if Drone has to be the one that's assisting, or if... Let's see, that's losing 10, that's... Nope, it works even if one player is doing all the assisting. So yeah, Godde basically has both players' economies for building up a ton of jump bots. Now, of course, it requires assisting. And Godde's commander gone down. Skasi moving forward with their commander. Not upgraded, though. Neither was Godde's, and Drone's is upgraded, light particle beam. And anti-air force crash is there for Drone. Helped out a bit, but not that much. The big push is getting crushed. Pretty effectively. But yeah, this wasn't assisted at first, so the brawler could have gone out faster and didn't. But it got out fast enough from the looks of it. Still alive, full health, going back into the fray to try to clear out this area. Crasher's a bit of a pain. The Crasher does actually have a range advantage, 730 to 650. But at this point, the Ravagers could push in and that would be fine. The Ravagers would probably actually win. The only problem being the Jack. And that's... yeah, that's the only problem. If that Jack goes down, then we are done. Well, they're done. Now I have ACDC stuck in my head, but the game will be over. And that is... oh, that Jack's still alive. It's not done yet, but neither are the Ravagers. And at this point, Yogzototh and Skasi are winning the attrition war. They have the economic advantage. They have the brawler. They could harass more if they... well, not just could. More darts coming in. Harassment is forthcoming. And over to the southwest, we see another attack. And that's the last slasher gone. Remember, Drone has no factory. Drone might rebuild a factory at some point. They have no factory at present. They have no way of rebuilding units. Every unit they lose is gone. The only person making units is Godde. And Godde can only make so many. They only have 9 energy, which I don't think is shared. And I would be wrong. It is, in fact, shared. But even then... would I be wrong? Well, it doesn't matter. They're getting a placeholder up. It looks like I am wrong. Anyway, Godde and Drone are... well, they're still pushing that one last dish push. somehow have an economic advantage on top of that. Oh, right, reclaim, that's why. Yeah, drone's reclaiming this entire southwest side. Godde is reclaiming a bit of it as well, so reclaiming Godde's commander, that's keeping them in the game. Can't discount that. That is keeping them in the game. The factor's taking a bit of damage. The factor's not going to go down. The placeholder, not really stopping the dart, but that power is going to be done in time. Even if Godde doesn't have the energy to really make that work. That's the only thing. Godde has surprisingly not that much power. Surprisingly, that doesn't make a difference. But yeah, the jump ship plant on fire from its own, from powers exploding in it. But it doesn't matter. It looks like the Jack, while pushing back, well, being pushed back rather, Ravager's not able to break the line. That Stardust being too much of a problem. So this south side is going to be a bit of a stalemate for a while. Rapiers probably could get rid of the Stardust, actually. Just a matter of positioning, and the Brawler is going to be used instead to try to deal with that Stardust. Going directly for it. However, the Razor being a problem, the Razor also with a massive range advantage on the Brawler. Almost doubled the Brawler's range, with the Freaker slowing it down, so it's going to be harder and harder to deal with. Yeah, that south area is difficult to attack by air. There's no denying that. And Warrior coming in to help get rid of the Stardust. Sorry, Wolverine coming to help get rid of the Stardust, not Warrior. No one's playing Cloaky right now. And that south side is basically... Okay, now it's basically gone. The Rapier's trying to get rid of the Jack. Need to focus on the Stardust. The Razor taking them down. That's all three Rapiers are gone now. Last one crashing off map. Still, the Wolverines are doing a fine job breaking the defenses. The only problem, of course, being that Stardust, but that's going to go down eventually. How many Wolverines are up so far? We have 4. Fourth is in production. Light Vehicle Factory is back up for drone, though. They have their production back up and running. The Brawler, however, has gone around the back and trying to take out that Jumpbot factory. Is it going to succeed? It is going to die in the process. That Brawler, 10 minutes in, goes down and doesn't take the factory out. Is retreating. Should have just gone straight for the factory and finished it off. I probably should have retreated sooner, to be more honest. That would be the thing to have done. Retreat sooner, but... Bit of a shame. Kind of didn't really do either. Didn't destroy the factory and didn't retreat to survive. So at this point, Yogzototh and Skasi still ahead. They're still taking the north. Skasi now taking... Well, the reclaim pit is pretty much taken already. How much reclaims left? There's still got to be quite a bit. Well, it's 120, but nowhere near. That was probably about 1,000 before, I'm guessing. And now, even if you go generous... Oh, 600 if you go generous. And a second Brawler, however, has been built. No third Brawler so far, just Rapiers forthcoming. That's all there is. While Drone with Wolverines of their own, we're going to get a Wolverine war. But that Brawler there should finish... Like, that will decide it easily. And the Wolverine can take... Sorry, the Brawler can take out the Wolverine's mines. For the most part at this point, it doesn't really matter. And why is Yogzototh building a Gauss turret? Whatever, it doesn't really matter. The south side has basically been taken. The center of the map now entirely belonging to Yogzototh and Skasi. The one last holdout, that one last bit of territory for Drone going down, and with that, everything from this side on belongs to Yogzototh and Skasi pretty convincingly. No air for Drone or Godde to get around that. Yogzototh, move back with that Brawler. Move that Brawler back. No, Yogzototh not paying attention. Focusing on the commander, getting rid of Drone's commander, which, actually, you know what? I don't know that it was necessarily worth it, but at this point, Drone has no reclaim. Not that they would have anyway at the moment, and it's 6 total metal. So Yogzototh and Skasi managing to pull that back. There might be a run back. I don't know. We'll see what Drone and Godde choose for map 3. But yeah, game 3 is going to be starting in probably a minute or two. That was tense though, and we are going to be moving on to game 3. And it looks like... Okay, so yeah, game 3 is... Game 3 is going to start any minute now. Nope. Drone and Godde not quite done. Not ready to throw in the towel. Not that they really have a chance at this point, but they are not throwing in the towel at this point. Anyway, how much damage does Ghost do? No, not Jack. Gauss. Gauss does 200 damage every 2 seconds, so not great. Good for dealing with a lot of light units, or at least in a line. You don't see Gauss turret built much. It probably has special uses, like you could bury it in the ground. Because Gauss, I think... No, Gauss bounces off terrain, never mind. That wouldn't work. Goes through units, bounces off terrain. And that Jack going to go down. Oh, is he going to go down? A Wolverine Mine takes it out. And I think that's basically... That was it. That was the last force that Godde and Drone had. And there we go. That's game. So Skasi and Yogzototh take game 2. We're moving on to game 3. It'll be the choice of Drone and Godde for map 2. Also, as you notice, Anarch and Norphelius beat GoogleFrog and Aquanim in loser semifinals 2, so they're on to the losers pre-finals. And it sounds like, from the chat logs, GoogleFrog and Aquanim were actually winning, and then Anarch and Norphelius pulled it back. That may happen here too. Skasi and Yogzototh, they... Oh, GoogleFrog offering to be cast buddy. Yes! Okay, so I'm gonna have to take a small break. As GoogleFrog has been eliminated. And yeah, Zen got me pointing out, it was an uphill battle for Drone and Godde. It had to be. Yogzototh and Skasi had to force an uphill battle, otherwise I would have lost. I'm sorry, I did realize the bottom section didn't actually show the right map name. That was an icy run. Anyway. Yeah, that is... So that is going to be... that. I'm going to be taking a short break to get GoogleFrog in, and then once that's done, I'll be back. So stay tuned. Be back in just a moment. Welcome back, Circuit fans. I am now joined by GoogleFrog and Aquanim, who have just been knocked out in 5th place. I guess congratulations. Yep. You've won a few matches.
Thanks. Yeah, we won one.
Yeah.
Yeah, although our last few were a bit close.
Yeah, it looked close. I saw the rapid fire replay of what happened with you and Skasi on Geyser Plains, or Skasi Yogzototh and Geyser Plains.
Yeah, that was... It started well. Both of the games we lost started well.
Oh, yes, that's...
They kind of went down the tubes.
Yeah, not quite sure how to finish.
Well, Skasi and Yogzototh definitely gave Godde and Drone a run for their money last game. But Icy Run would do that. That is a map where you basically just, you can push so hard.
Yeah.
On the other hand, this is going to be, I mean, Drone and Godde, Yogzototh and Skasi got a cheese.
Yeah. that was my first thought.
Like, they have to.
I think they can macro, but they'll just get killed by raiders.
Well, the problem isn't that they can't macro, it's that compared to Godde and Drone, that's the problem, is that Godde and Drone are both... Well, Drone in particular is great at macro. Like, Drone's all about huge amount of metal extractors, huge amount of power, lots of units. Don't worry so much about keeping them alive. Godde is a bit more worried about keeping them alive, but it still kicks ass at Ecron, so there's just no easy way for them to get around that. They're playing to the strengths of their opponent if they're going normal.
You know, what cheese would you play on Comet Catcher? I suppose maybe both rush Scorches?
Either that or... Well, even a drop wouldn't necessarily work. Yeah, I'm not sure. I suppose you might...
The game's actually going now.
Yeah, it is. So we have light vehicles, heavy tanks from Skasi and Yogzototh, and hovercraft and light vehicles. Hovercraft have not seen in a long time on a land map. Bit of a nice relief to see it again. I've been kind of missing it. It's a good thing to see.
Yeah, I suppose seeing it occasionally is an improvement on it being ubiquitous. I think it was ubiquitous at one point, a few months ago.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
It was every game in that tournament had at least one hovercraft player. It was pretty interesting. Nice to see it as a change, but yeah, drone now sees it raiding out. But I was saying with drops, one thing I saw in one of the replays I cast before the tournament on the Wednesday, like last Wednesday, involved red Comet, not Comet Catcher, but basically going into one of the craters, building up a gunship plant, carting both commanders in, and then proxying a factory. It was really risky, but...
I saw that game.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could see maybe working on this map. Maybe.
And you can just move anywhere you like, though. You can run away from a cheese.
Yeah, that's the problem with Comet Catcher, isn't this? But we're not seeing that. We are seeing the direct assault. And... Kodachi, get out of there. Get out of there. Got out of there. Okay. That's the
They have some good rating, Yogzototh.
Yeah, the one thing I've
Skasi.
noticed, they do have good rating, but they have a tendency to lose their units when they're raiding a bit more often than they need to. And it's one thing where it normally wouldn't be a problem, but against Godde and Drone, that's enough. That's just that much of a disadvantage. On the other hand, though, that one raid right there, the Scorcher, if it ran away...
Scorcher went really well, and look at the Kodachi very well as well. Oh, no, it's dying now, though.
See, that's the problem.
Yeah,
is that
we'll die eventually.
Yeah,
I believe it made its cost in daggers.
Oh, the Scorcher, yeah, definitely. More than made its cost.
The Kodachi did too, I believe. The Kodachi's really quite good against daggers.
Barely made its cost. I think it made its cost because one of them burned to death right after by hitting the fire.
Yeah.
Although...
that was... Go on.
Does make it cost really matter when they're in enemy territory? Like when the corpses are in enemy territory?
I suppose not, but it's better than not making cost.
True.
Well, the real thing to watch is mechs count. We've got 15 on the bottom and 10 on the top. That'll get them.
I forgot to actually show the mexes. I've been showing the outlines normally, and I probably should. Probably should also change the outlines to use shaders, but that's a different story. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. I meant to show the game itself. We were all talking against the bracket screen because that always has to happen once a tournament. It's a once a tournament thing.
Well, good to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, the winners finals.
Last game, yeah.
In the tensest game, after a couple good raids. Okay, these are better raids, though. Nice Panthers coming here from Skasi. Wow, just focusing on Godde, just focusing down Godde. Unfortunately, those Panthers getting trapped. One of them's going to go down. Stuns? Oh, nice stun, but still.
Now, these raids aren't as good as the previous ones there.
No, that really should have escaped.
They really need to expand instead.
Yeah, the point I make is that the Kodachi that died over in the far corner, that's not going to get reclaimed for a while. Just the time you spend walking a constructor over there is almost not worth it. But all this reclaimed right in front of his factory, that's going to be really easy for him to pick up.
Yeah, that was really an all or nothing gambit. Like that would have had to kill the factory to be worth it.
One thing to say about Godde and Drone do have more recon, but I believe Godde's been energy stalling for quite some time, so
and
accessing metal, not badly, but it's it'll be adding up.
It will, and that's the thing is that Yogzototh and Skasi, if they can take an advantage, that they need advantages to be on level ground, and if they have that, then that's good. But they're not. I don't know if they're taking advantage of it as much. They're accessing it. They're almost accessing themselves, not quite, but they
have much more energy though, so their economies.
That's true. Their economy is working for them better. Less metal income, but more effective build power.
And more energy income overall, so they've invested more there.
Mm-hmm. And solars too. Good choice. It looks like everyone's going for solars. That's a good choice. Does wind even work well in this map? I don't know.
There's a raid coming in the top though, which could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, those Scorchers are that one alley right there. That's the one thing that they hadn't developed yet. Skasi and Yogzototh hadn't really put anything there, and that's really biting them right now.
Well, the defenders have actually mostly cleared up those Scorchers. I think they got a bit not quite lucky, but that could have gone a great deal worse.
Yes, that would
definitely
very clutch.
One less defender rocket, and that would have been very, very bad.
Yogzototh switched into slashes, which is quite a good turn.
Which is something I'm not surprised to see, because they actually went for slasher push last game, so there's that. And that was their last effort to win, was a slasher push. Although Yogzototh also going for slashers, learning their lesson from what Drone did. Yeah, you're right. Wow, this is slasher push against the very person who was trying to push them in the last game. Not a bad one either.
I see runs I'd say very much tuned towards like a slasher push. But I suppose even Comet catches, it's even though it's much bigger, it's still thinner than it is long in terms of.
Yeah, so it's very easy to have line moves like that.
Just a larger scale. I mean, if you're familiar with the Comet catcher macro challenge.
Yes, I haven't done it myself, but I know about it.
Yeah, neither I haven't beaten it myself either, but I believe the most practical way to do it is with just a huge mass of slashes.
Well, they're great defenses.
Yeah, it's a line. You have this rolling line of units. You can't really get around it because being that it's a tall map, it's a narrow map. There aren't a lot of flanking routes.
Right.
Which I always found kind of annoying. Which one of the reasons I like square maps and maps like Trojan Hills is you get a lot of flanking routes and you can really use the terrain to your advantage. Something I quite like about that map. But anyway, that's the map we're playing right now. And the map we're playing right now involves a slash push kind of going bad for Yogzototh. Western side's going nicely. The center is falling. It's falling hard. Drone going for a counterattack. Oh, Yogzototh's commander too far forward.
The drone's now switched into rapiers as well.
And halberds slashes for Godde.
Yeah,
I don't slash push wins, and they need to expand. Yogzototh and slash.
Yeah, it's all his territory. They are expanding, but slowly. They only have one worker each on expansion duty.
Yeah,
far worse off in economy.
Yeah, it's still moderated a bit by the fact that Drone and Godde have still been accessing metal, not just at the moment, but they have been accessing metals a little bit at a time steadily through the game. But I don't think it's enough to offset. The sheer economy advantage that they've had.
No, not anymore.
Skasi has
they've been spending too much.
Some fusions.
Which is good, but there's not enough overdrive. Look at the way those fusions aren't connected to anything. There's no pylons or anything to get them to the rest of the grid. There's one metal extractor that really benefits.
They're overdriving a single metal extractor.
They're overdriving it to heaven, but they're only overdriving the one. It's 3 times, too!
The importance is in the reclaim.
Yeah. But hey, it's a 3 times metal extractor. So that's something, right? Yeah, they need pylons.
Yep.
Still, though, we do... Oh, those halberds. Those halberds from Godde are doing a number.
On the slashes, yep. Just everything, really.
Oh, yeah, they're going for the commander now, too. That commander's down without even breaking a sweat. Okay, lost a lot of halberds in the explosion, but still. That was worth it.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh, you don't think so? Oh, no, yeah, you're right. No, sorry, this is too late in the game. I'm thinking if it was a smaller map. Yeah, this isn't worth it. That was risky. It's salvageable. If they take this area and they manage to get the reclaim for themselves, if Drone takes the reclaim, then it'll have been worth it. But because of the fact that the reclaim is kind of in Yog's territory, it's risky.
Yeah, I don't know that Yog's going to be able to take that reclaim anytime soon.
I don't think either player's going to be able to take it.
Yeah, it's true.
But they have the energy to back it up.
Yeah. The thing about setting up pylons for Skasi fusions, if you look at Drone and Godde's just their side of the map, it's already linked with just the solars and some winds that they built earlier. That's
a big line of it. That's exactly what they need.
Yeah.
And it's solid. It's well defended. It's got a reasonable shape.
Yeah, whereas
the top side's very open and weirdly shaped.
Yeah, I don't see what's going on there. I mean, I do see that Yogzototh and Skasi are not focusing on pylons. They're focusing a bit more on the power buildings to do it. It's just at this point, in terms of how to efficiently make up for the fact that they've basically been throwing their economy in weird directions, that's why I said pylons.
I find it interesting that Godde's gone for rapiers as well now here, instead of, say, well, they've both switched. Both Godde and Drone have switched to Gunship, but I don't know. I'm kind of surprised one of them hasn't switched to, say, or just air, I suppose. But the rapiers are working out for them.
Or for that matter, switch to Striders or something. I mean, they have most of the map. They can support it.
Well, that's true. Not sure which Strider would be good here, though.
Well, let's see. They're dealing with a lot of smaller ground forces, a lot of Scorchers, So probably a Scorpion, I would think. Just to jump out and stun everything.
Yeah, perhaps the Scorpion's really quite slow, but
that's true.
I suppose all the Striders are.
They are. I'm just thinking everything's going to get surrounded. At least the Scorpion can stun things out first, so very little is left to continue surrounding it. And speaking of surrounding, over to the south, we have the Scorchers getting rid of the Wolverines. Over to the eastern side, the Reapers as well. 2 Reapers so far, taking care of the western side or eastern front, breaking that down. The western front is being broken down by Scorchers. And, ooh, that Stardust not quite ready yet. 1 second left on the clock for that Stardust, and it goes down right before it's done. That would have been a very different story if it had been completed first. Those Scorchers wouldn't be able to get in. They wouldn't be dealing the damage they're dealing now, which is immense. Moving in, they've got to destroy a lot to get the raid. They have to get rid of a factory, I think.
I think they have to kill the base for it to be worth it.
That's what I mean. They have to just tear everything apart, and this is, well, it's going strong so far, but I don't think that Godde and Drone even care. I think they're just going to go for a counter push. See Rapiers over to the north that are just going for it. And
yeah, Skasi had a problem where he didn't have enough nano turrets for some time, so he was just, well, not even stalling, just excessing both metal and energy, which has been unfortunate.
And it looks like that push has stopped short of the main base. Getting rid of a lot of energy, but there's so much energy and metal left for Godde and Drone that it makes no difference. That gunship factory is not going to go down. The Crashers are in a good position to help get rid of incoming Rapiers, though, so at least the Rapier count's going to be reduced. But Godde switching back to ground, switching back to hovercraft, and so many Ravages from Drone. I think this is going to seal it. Yogzototh's about to go down.
Looks like it.
There's 3 Stardust. Stardust are very good.
They are, which is true. That is a very good point. But even with that, I don't know. There's so many Rapiers.
But that many the Ravages and the Halberds, I think that's too much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Halberds alone I think would be too much. If they were if they were really clever about how they set things up. With the Ravagers, they don't have to be clever. They can just go.
He's not even engaged. He's not even engaging the Stardust.
No, why bother? They're not in the way. And that Stinger gets 1 shot off. So Yogzototh is down. Skasi is threatened but not down.
Yes, Skasi has a pretty significant number of Reapers, but they're just not that good against the masses of Rapiers.
Well, half a dozen
they're too slow
Reapers
to really threaten.
Yeah, they have a massive amount of military right now. But Drone has, well, Drone's got all these Rapiers. 26 Rapiers between Drone and Godde. That's the numbers we're looking at here. I don't see those Reapers doing much. There are Copperheads being built up. I guess that helps. But at this
the trouble is that these Ravages are about to come across. I believe.
Exactly.
Just take the fusions.
Take the fusions. Take the overdrive metal extractors. And this is.
With no fusions, they can't reclaim, and then they're just out of it.
Well, if any of the fusions go down, I think they're all going to go down.
Well, not sure. I think they.
Well,
they
the
probably won't
explosion
just
radius.
chain, but
Yeah, if you,
Nah, they don't chain.
they're probably all going to die.
yeah, but they're pretty close to each other. They're
How
going to
much
damage each other at least.
Yeah, look, it's fine.
Okay, it's not going to chain. Oh yeah, it's fine. Only one of them's dead. Only one of their 3 fusion plants that's actually powering their overdrive that's keeping their economy going. Yeah, this is game.
But it looks like that's curtains.
Especially if that second fusion reactor went down, that would have knocked down most of the caretakers as well. So game, set, and match.
Yogzototh and Skasi made a game of that, I have to say, but
They did. They certainly did. That was a very valiant effort. So they put up a good fight, and we are going to be seeing the losers final, Snugglebase and Hokomoko versus Yogzototh and Skasi. Winner of that goes against Godde and Drone for first place.
so Snugglebase and Hokomoko took out Anarchid and Orpheus. I'm not sure which way I'd have predicted that to go. Pretty even. I wonder if I found out how long the game went. Perhaps someone cheesed.
Yeah, well, shorter
10
probably.
minutes.
Yeah, at most.
Yeah, looks like it was a 10-minute game. So yeah, that's about how long that double commander drop game took, I think. So
yeah, because that got pushed back. The double commander
Yeah.
drop ended up failing. Like there wasn't anything that could be done. It was just it got stopped. The Cloaky factory was destroyed. The hammers didn't really do, or not hammers. The glaives didn't do much, and that was about it. And yeah, Lori, Skasi probably did play a bit worse. The thing with the tournament, of course, being that it's hard. Like, you just get worn out after a while. That's the toughest thing.
Yes. Kind of varies a bit by time zone.
True.
So, it depends where you are. I believe the people from the America kind of time zone. This would be the middle of the night for them, I think.
It is 5:52 in the Pacific Daylight Time Zone, 9:52. Sorry, 10:22 in Newfoundland. So those are your time ranges. So it depends exactly where you are, but yeah, if you started, it would have been starting at 3 a.m. to somewhere between 3 and 7:30 a.m. So any Newfoundlander players would have been fine. Any East Coast players would have been okay. Any Pacific time players like me, well, I'm not playing, mind you, but still, yeah, tiring. Very tiring.
It kind of goes the other way for in Australia for say GoogleFrog and myself. We start at about 8 o'clock. That's okay, but if the tournament starts to run long, I think we're up till 4 once.
Yeah, that was a long one.
So you're playing well at the start, and then kind of just play gets worse and worse as the tournament goes on, which is that's not the preferred direction, but it's better than getting up at 2 in the morning to play, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
So Snugglebase